It is Friday, 4 p.m. here in Berlin. Welcome to another Telemetry Drops. My name is Reese Lee. I'm a software engineer, and I've been doing telemetry systems for a while now, since 2015 or so. And this is the Telemetry Drops. This is a personal project by me, Reese Lee, where I bring to you every Friday for half an hour or so a knowledge drop, a small drop of knowledge about telemetry in general, but focused on open telemetry. And then from time to time, we go a little bit more generic and talk about observability or monitoring. And from time to time, also specific tools. And this week, I have Reese is going to join me and talk about how to deliver a great presentation, how to come up with ideas for a good presentation, how to formulate that proposal in a way that that is able to tell people what you are up to, what your experience is, and then how to actually deliver that presentation. All of that in about half an hour. Before we go there, the schedule for KubeCon is now public. So go there to SCAD or to the website for KubeCon Amsterdam, and the accepted talks are there. So already go there and prepare your schedule for Amsterdam. If you have not signed up yet for Amsterdam, if you have not acquired your tickets, go there. If you need some help in getting those tickets, let me know. I have a coupon code from ambassadors, 15% discount. So if you want to go there and you just need a small discount to make your decision, then go to Telemetry Drops channel on Telegram, or Dose de Telemetria in Portuguese if you speak Portuguese, and ask for the coupon code. I have one coupon code, 15% discount for you, that the ambassadors have. If you know any other ambassadors, ask them as well. So they also have a coupon code for KubeCon. Now, KubeCon is only one of the important events that we have around open telemetry. The other one is Hotel Unplugged. If you are in Brussels for FOSDEM, or if you are just in the neighborhood at the beginning of February, so February 2nd, I think, then make sure to get your tickets for Hotel Unplugged. It's not very expensive, and I can guarantee you it's a great event. We had the first one in Detroit a few years ago during KubeCon, and it was a lot of fun. It's an unconference type of event where the attendees, they decide what they want to talk about, what they want to hear about. The only 2 or 3 sessions that we have planned are from open telemetry maintainers and the governance committee, technical committee. But other than that, you pick the topics. You decide if you want to talk about something or if you want to hear about the specific topics. So if you are in Europe, or specifically close to Brussels at the beginning of February, then make sure to reserve your spot already for Hotel Unplugged. That all said, I want to call my guest for today. So we have today here Reese. Hi, Reese.
Hello, Jurassic. It's so awesome to be here.
Yeah.
I'm Reese. I work in the observability space at New Relic, and I've been here for actually it's almost my 6-year anniversary, if you can believe that, which is, I know, unheard of in tech almost. And I am coming to you live from Portland, Oregon, where it is 7:05 a.m.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
I'm so happy to be here.
Okay, thank you very, very much, Reese. So when I had, so I was talking to Carla. So Carla helps me on Telemetry Drops. So she works on Telemetry Drops and does the telemetry for the whole week, and I work only on Fridays, right? So she tells me what to record, what are the topics that I should be talking about. And when we were brainstorming about a session about how to make killer proposals for the KubeCon, then your name is the first thing that I thought. So I've seen so many great presentations by Reese, and I've reviewed some of those proposals as well. Not all of them got accepted, but pretty much all of them got me excited about the topic. And I thought, like, I know who to ask for, like, to join us here, and that was you, Reese. So thank you very much for picking up the phone, and or the virtual phone at least, and being here with us today.
I'm honored.
So Reese, 6 years at New Relic, but when did you start talking at KubeCon? Like, tell us your experience a little bit.
Oh my gosh. So yes. So I joined New Relic 6 years ago, but I was on the technical support side. Anyways, and then a position opened up on the open telemetry engineering team we had at the time. And it was for developer relations engineer, which I had never even heard of. So November 2021, it was official. I got the role, and I had to get situated very quickly. And one of the things that came up was, oh hey, by the way, there's this event called KubeCon. Um, you know, it's a pretty big deal because it's the CNCF's event. So why don't you look into it and see if you can submit a talk? And this was like, I was so brand new to OpenTelemetry still, didn't know anything about KubeCon, and I it was so long ago that I don't quite remember how the topic came up, but the topic that I decided to go with was about tail sampling, and I put something together and I asked a lot of coworkers, so some of my peers who have given talks before and some engineers, PMs to review it. And so I had a lot of thought that went into it. And I submitted it not really seriously. It was more so like, okay, let's just do it. And then we'll see, what I can learn from this next time. Also because the deadline at the time was like coming up so fast. And I actually had to rush home from a gathering with friends to submit it because I was still working on it. Anyway, so I submitted it, thinking like, okay, we'll just see what happens. And then it got accepted, and I was like, oh my God. So that was like a whole different experience from then onward. But one thing that's interesting is I think in the first few, what year is it now? 2025. In the first 3 years, I want to say, when OTel was still, considered very new, I think there was a lot of potential to submit, just about anything, right? Because there wasn't a lot of content around it yet. And so it's been interesting, especially as the project has matured too. Like there are so many more things to talk about, but there's also been so many more things that have been talked about. And so it's been interesting to see, kind of the shift from when I first submitted a talk to now. And it's gotten a lot more competitive, which I think is great. But also you have to, obviously, when it's more competitive, have to be a little bit more thoughtful, I think, with what you submit. And also, if you can provide some kind of background, maybe you've contributed, or maybe you're an end user, or you've implemented OTel in some way, I think all of those help a lot as well.
Yeah, and I think that's so true. Like I think I remember that proposal that he sent about tail sampling. I think I remember that proposal. But I think one thing that I like nowadays is end user talks, like what you mentioned, right? So you mentioned end users, and I think this is one of my preferred ones nowadays. Like show me your scars, like show me your battle marks, like show me where you got
Give me the
burned by
battle
all.
news.
But I guess, okay, so a question to you: what is the anatomy of a good KubeCon talk? Not necessarily open telemetry, but what is the anatomy of a good KubeCon talk? So how should it look like? What are the secret ingredients to a good talk?
There is, I think, some kind of general look or feel, but I have also seen it just kind of run the gamut a little bit depending on the category. Is it called category?
The tracks, right?
Tracks, yes, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think it really depends on the track as well. So, Jurassic, you might be able to better explain what a track is from the like committee perspective, if you want to.
Yeah, so KubeCon has those different tracks, and each track has a specific theme. They would be themes, right? So there is an observability track, there is a platform engineering track. Every KubeCon has potentially its own set of tracks. They typically repeat themselves, but they're always reevaluating which tracks we should have. One that is a constant one is observability track, right? So and within observability, there are a few topics. So one of them, like for this one here, is handling, I forgot the exact wording, but basically handling massive amounts of telemetry, right? So if your talk is about that specific subject or that specific topic, then when you send a proposal, you select that part so that we have a balance as well on, like, we don't have all of the talks within the observability track about handling huge volumes. Like, we should also have a few ones about innovative ways of doing telemetry and so on and so forth. Right. But yeah, each track is different. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, generally, obviously a compelling idea. And then if you could summarize that into the title, that is really helpful. And I know, like, I've done this before where I like to try and come up with like a clever title, but if it can be clever and clear, I think that's the most effective. And I've also seen, like, so it's interesting because I have, as I'm sure everyone else does as well, perspectives within your own self. Like, you have different perspectives of, okay, I see this from a reviewer perspective, because I've also been on the program committee for Observability Day in the past, which was a really interesting experience, and it is relevant. And I'll come back to that in a second. So I have, very many different perspectives of, like, okay, how is this going to look to someone who's reviewing these CFPs? How is this going to look to an audience, my target audience? And those are the two main ones. And so when crafting the talk proposal, I think something that's really important to consider that people don't really think about is the fact that the people who are reviewing these proposals, they are reviewing so many different proposals, and especially for something like KubeCon, they get thousands of submissions, and some of them, I think I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but like nowadays with AI, I think it's easy to kind of let AI put something out for you, and it is getting better, but it can still be a little bit obvious. And so I think, as actually you mentioned, Jurassic, in one of your posts a while back, it's better if you have like an idea fully fleshed out and then you use AI to kind of help you refine that versus like starting at the AI and trying to get something from there, for submitting a CFP specifically. And then, so thinking about that, you want to make your idea really clear. You want to have a little bit of personality in your proposal, because having reviewed, dozens and dozens of CFPs at once, I promise you, if you can make it really clear what your talk is about, it's going to be so much, it'll make an impression on the reviewer. And so coming from that perspective, and then also like, okay, if it does get accepted, are people going to want to come to my talk? And so I think those are two really interesting and important things to consider. And so hopefully I answered your question somewhere.
Yeah, no, you did. You did. So many things to unpack there. I think, so first, AI. Please, people, don't title your talks as "From Chaos to Clarity." Like, just don't. Like, no. That's like you can do better, right? So I've seen so many from chaos to clarity, and then Colin, and then like just no, please. That's like a few years ago, before AI. I think for Copenhagen, there were so many making X great again, and that was so tasteless. Like people just don't like. It's the same nowadays with from chaos to clarity. Like no,
That's
that's.
so funny.
But I think, but you had also a very good point about that. Most people don't realize you are writing your proposal with two audiences in one. So one is, of course, the people who are going to attend your talk at the event. Like they are there, they are checking the schedule, and you have to win them there, like on those 10, 15 seconds between sessions where they decide. Like, of course, people prepared their plans, they prepared their schedules, but I never followed my schedule. Like it always changes, right? So you are at a specific talk, and then you find somebody, you start talking to that somebody, and then you go together to the next session, and then suddenly you are there, right? So you have to make your proposal enticing for people who are transiting, like on those 10, 15 seconds. Now the second audience, which is the most important at the very beginning, is like the program committee members. Like so they have to decide on your presentation. They have to decide whether it's good or not. So it has to be very clear to them whether your proposal is good or not. And it's hard. It's hard to write a proposal with those two audiences in one text. But the good thing is for KubeCon, there's also the benefits to the ecosystem field, right? So when we prepare a proposal, there's the abstract, and then you can talk directly to the program committee members on the benefits to the ecosystem. And people don't let AI write the benefits to the ecosystem. Also, like this is the place where you can convince the program committee members. Of course, you can write your ideas down and let AI refine. That's fine, but don't let AI write the benefits to the ecosystem based on the abstract. Like, just it doesn't work either.
Yeah, I think, from my program committee experience, sometimes if it comes down to, how I'm going to score the the submissions, and there's a few that are similar, the benefits of the ecosystem does weigh a lot in that sense. And so, for anyone who's listening, if you think, benefits to the audience, like, what is this throwaway field? Who reads this? We do. It's read.
Yeah.
I just take it into
Sometimes I even read that before the abstract, actually, right? So because the title sometimes it's actually quite good, but then I tend to go first to the benefits and then back to the abstract. I don't know.
Yeah. And so it was really interesting because, it was a while before I was on a program committee for Ollie Day. And so, I was writing my submissions just for the audience that I was thinking. And so now that I have had that experience, I'm like, oh, now I know what it's like to be on the reviewing end. And I can see how, easy it can be for a submission to get lost, just because there are so many, and there's some that are, you kind of see it, and because of maybe it's not very clear, it's or if it clearly wasn't like proofread, you know, in my mind, it's like, okay, this person didn't put as much thought into this. And so the ones that you can notice where, okay, this person like really thought about the topic, like they really thought about how to frame the topic. They came up with like a good title. And if, even if it's like not a clever title, but if it's clear, that's very helpful. And so hopefully those are a few more things to think about when you are coming up with something. And I guess we should also talk about like topics, because, as the project has matured, there are so many more topics you can do now. But on the flip side, there are also, it's been, let's see, 2019 was official inception. And then 2021 was when I first started kind of doing these talks. So, like 4 or 5 years on now, there's been so much more content that has been created around different OTL subjects. And so, this is actually something I'm kind of like trying to figure out now too, because I'm like, oh, there's so many things I would like to talk about, but with where the project is now, there might be topics that are maybe more interesting to people. And so, yeah, I don't know if you have anything to, I'm sure you have stuff to tack on to that as well, Jurassic.
Yeah, no, I think so. When I'm reviewing or when I'm proposing a talk, there is one thing that I like to think, like, what is the one thing that I'm the only person that can talk about? Like, what is the angle of my experience that I can bring to this proposal? Right? And this is when people come to me and say, oh yeah, I would like to propose something for KubeCon. And then the question that I ask them is, what is the one thing that, like, tell me your experience. And based on your experience, what can you share? Because that's only you, that's yours. Nobody can talk about that other than you. You are the best person in the whole world to talk about that. That's your experience. So bring that to the proposal, right? So if you are an end user, you go there and you talk about your specific use cases. Of course, it has to be interesting as well. I've seen so many proposals. So at once I was a reviewer for the security track for some reason, and somebody and I saw so many proposals on how to secure your Kubernetes cluster. So many of those. Thankfully, we don't have so much repetition on the observability track, but like, it's okay to have a proposal on how to secure your Kubernetes cluster if you have the angle that makes it unique. Like, what is the thing that makes it unique to your proposal? Is it your authority? Like, are you the main developer behind the security features of Kubernetes? Then sure, then you are the right person for that. Otherwise, in like for OTel, tail sampling. So I implemented a tail sampling at scale for X amount of telemetry data points, and I reduced that to 80%, like in 80%. I think that was one of the talks that I've seen, or I helped for ODLI Day, for Observability Day in Paris, I think. Like, that's an actual experience as well, right? So it's there is one that is teaching people how to do things, and then there is the other one, like, this is what I can bring also to the table. Like, this is the actual experience. So when, I guess, going back to the original point, bringing or making clear in the proposal why you are the best person to deliver that presentation, that talk, that specific talk, that is very enticing to the program committee. Like, if you make it clear, then you are halfway through being accepted.
And I also want to add on for people who, maybe this is their first time submitting, or maybe they've submitted but haven't gotten accepted, or they haven't spoken before, any of the above, or and also for people who are more experienced as well. Well, no, sorry, I take it back. This is for people that are newer to like the speaking space. One of the reasons I didn't think I would get accepted my first when I submitted my very first CFP was I never done a talk before. But actually CNCF, they really want to foster a culture of experts and speakers, and they're very open to accepting first-time speakers, obviously. So if that is something that you're concerned about, don't be. I would say just go for it. Obviously, keeping in mind like everything that we have shared here today. Yeah, so if you can, show why you are a good person to talk about this topic, even if you've never given a talk before, don't let that hinder you.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. It does help if you just record yourself on video talking about something, like just read your abstract on camera. That helps a lot in evaluating, like, can this person actually like talk? Like, show me how you talk. Like, because at the end of the day, you'll be in front of like 150, 200 people, and you want to deliver a presentation in 25 minutes, right? So first timers, welcome, but also like please record yourself on video and show us. That helps a lot. So quite often, I don't know about other people doing the reviews, but I look up people on LinkedIn, on YouTube. I try to watch their recordings. If they add links to their presentations, that's helpful. That's better. That saves me time from doing the research, and that also gives a confidence. Yes, that person can really talk. And I think kind of tied. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say that kind of tied to that is also like one of the things that I do when I'm reviewing a recorded content from the person is this person trying to sell me anything? Like, is this vendor neutral? Is it marketing disguised as a conference talk? Because at the end of the day, it is an open source conference. KubeCon is open source. Like, of course, a lot of vendors, it's a lot of money flowing in there, but it is an open source conference, and people are there not to be sold anything. They're paying most of the people are paying a lot of money to be there, and they don't want to like watch commercials or advertisements on stage. So if you work for a vendor and you are talking about a specific thing that your vendor sells, that's already a red flag. So make it very, very clear that your talk is not a marketing pitch, like it's not a product pitch. Right? It is a something that can be done with open source tools, and you are conveying the concept, not the tool. Right? So if you are showing the tool to demonstrate a concept, that's fine. But as long as people can implement the concept on their own, without paying you money, right? So
Yes, yeah. I take that very seriously myself.
yeah.
You know, my parents raised me to be a rule follower, and so like I will not even anything where I'm doing a demo, and I have done demos. I will just use an open source backend to show whatever it is I'm showing. So yeah, like Jaeger is one I for sure have used. But yeah. So I follow it very strictly, and I always advise people to like, follow it strictly. Like I haven't really heard anything crazy happening, but I think that is also because people generally follow the rules.
Yeah. No, I think it's okay. So Dan, your colleague now at Relic, I delivered a talk with him at KubeCon now. I think it was Observability Day technically, Dan Blanco, and he shared one of the screenshots from Relic, and he asked, "Oh, should I use Jaeger there?" No, I mean it's okay. Like we are not selling New Relic. We are showing one example of a trace. In that particular case, like it was a very bad trace. So he was showing a trace using New Relic's new UI. Apparently, I think it's not or wasn't available back then to general people. Was behind a feature flag for one specific.
Oh, okay.
But so it's okay to show like a screenshot or some like examples of New Relic. So you do it extra nice, showing Jaeger, but I think it is the point is really that you should not be selling like New Relic or whatever there. It is really like showing the concept and telling people how to do how to accomplish things in general. But Reese, I have one other question to you. So I love your talks. I love your cat pictures. Like now that we got a good topic, now that we made a good proposal and they accepted, like the program committee accepted, you got the email saying accepted from KubeCon. Now that's huge. That's great. What now? Like, how do we prepare a great presentation? What are the things that people should be paying attention to so that it's not boring, so that it's not only like wearing the badge of honor, like, oh, I'm KubeCon speaker, but no, actually delivering a good talk?
Oh my goodness. How much more time do we have? So this is I actually really love this aspect of it because this is where you really get to prove, I guess, why you have earned this, because it is because so many people are submitting talks, it does become a little bit exclusive when you it's a very, there's a feeling of, like, oh, I'm part of the elite because you've been accepted amongst all these other, you know, speakers. And so once you've gotten that accepted, I really want to give a shout out to Adriana Villela from Dynatrace. She and we started doing talks together, I want to say, 2 years ago. I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure which talk was the one we first did because we've done quite a lot together at this point. And I think she's actually in OSS Summit Japan right now, or she's in Japan for another conference. And so I bring that up because, if you are submitting a talk for the first time or you want to, but you're kind of nervous, absolutely you can have a co-speaker to chat to submit with and do the talk with. And I think having, I know we're like a little bit limited on time, so I'm trying to figure out like what all to say. But I think when you have two speakers, it can kind of help keep things engaging, not just for the audience, but for you as well, because you have someone else there to, kind of like, have some rapport with on the stage. But in terms of like doing the talk, now it's got accepted. Now you have to prepare the talk. So if you're doing it solo, which I have also done quite a bit, if the thing that you want to talk about has already been like done before, and I say this because I have submitted talks on topics that I wanted to learn more about. And so I didn't have like, a demo ready or something, and I have to go figure out the demo, make sure it works and everything. I think the content itself is very important. Of course, having like clear slide decks. Don't put a lot of text on your slides. If you can, summarize the slide so that there's not a lot of text on it, because if you have a lot of text on it, people start reading the slide instead of paying attention to what you're saying. And so there's like some stuff that can get missed there. But the thing, so one thing that really, really, really helped me was I got a speaking coach. Well, my manager at the time, she got a speaking coach for me. And it was virtual, of course. This was, 2022. And I had my talk written out, and my virtual coach was, listening and watching me and giving me feedback. And having never done public speaking before, I found that extremely helpful. I have a tendency to talk very fast. And so this is very much about like, okay, you don't slow all the way down, but you have pauses, and you have, you try to have like a good cadence. And I have gone to a lot of talks where the topic, I was very interested in the topic, but the way that it was delivered could have been better. And so I would say, like, yes, your slides and your content need to be really good, but you should also, if you can, maybe do like a few live practice sessions, dry runs with coworkers, or you can do it at like a meetup in the end user SIG, which I'm a co-maintainer of along with Adriana. We have this program called OTEL in practice, and pretty much anyone can submit a topic and do a presentation on there. So you're absolutely welcome to chat with us if you want to, kind of try delivering a session virtually. We are more than happy to help set that up with you. And this will stream live to, whoever joins that call. So that's another way that you can like kind of practice and get some feedback. And did I answer the question? I think
Yeah. No, yeah, you did.
wandered
I
away a little
think
bit.
you had so many good advice here at the end. No, not only at the end, but one thing that I like is the dry runs, right? So you mentioned practicing. This is one thing that I like to do as well, dry runs. So perhaps reach out to people in your network and say, "Oh, I'm doing a dry run for my KubeCon talk. Like, do you want to join?" Quite often, people do. Right? So people who are not going for to KubeCon for some reason, they would appreciate being part of this group of guinea pigs. So this is one, and I've done that with Dan and Michele for KubeCon, especially true for when you have co-speakers. Like when you don't have co-speakers, that's fine. You can do on your own. Of course, you have to practice. So the way that I typically do is from the day that I get a talk accepted, I start preparing. So I'm not kind of the person that prepares a talk like half an hour before the actual talk. I like preparing that months in advance, and then I practice at least once a week. Right, so it doesn't have to be every day, and then whenever it gets closer, then it's more often. Nowadays, it's not so much, but when I was starting, then practice does help because we get those blank moments, and when you know the talk by heart, then those moments can come in and you are in that mode where you're just practiced, right? So yeah, the meetups, I like that idea as well. This is how I started. So I started with meetups, and I actually started with meetups after I got the first talk accepted for KubeCon. So I got, I think it was 2017 for Berlin, actually. And I thought, oh yeah, so and now I have to deliver that. So what do I do? So I went to meetups and I suggested, oh, can I talk about X? And people, yeah, of course. So that helped me gain confidence. But yeah, so what you mentioned, like you saying the talk and then you learn about the topic because that's what you want to learn more. That's conference-driven development. Like we do that all the time, right? We talk about the feature that doesn't exist yet, and then we prepare for the feature. Yeah. But yeah, and if you are in Berlin, if you don't want to do the hotel in practice, then come to the hotel night. We are more than happy to have people talking about OpenTelemetry at hotel night. So yeah.
Oh yes, I know there's a lot of regional KCDs, a lot of regional
DevOps days. Yeah.
DevOps days. I'm trying to remember what's the one that Giuliano Costa, he's part of this group. Oh man, I'm gonna be so mad that I've forgotten it. But he and like these
Oh
two
yeah,
other,
absolutely. The Cloud Native days. Yeah.
yes, okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. Other cities will have organizers that are doing this stuff, and they would love to have you come on and either do your talk after you've done like the big talk, or if you want to do like a practice talk, or speak on a topic and then maybe eventually try and submit that to a big event.
Yeah, absolutely. Reese, thank you very, very much. You shared so many good things here. I feel like people have now more information to prepare a great proposal for KubeCon and deliver a great presentation as well. So,
Oh, I hope so. Thank you so much for having me. And you, anyone is welcome to reach out to me on CNCF's Slack instance. If you're not a member, it's very easy. Just literally just Google CNCF Slack, and then you'll get taken to their invite page. You submit your email, you join through that link. You can reach myself as well as anybody in the OTL community, including Jossie. So, although I don't want to volunteer him, but he is very welcoming and is patient, and he's definitely been someone who I've really looked up to in the community. So thank you so much. I feel like,
Thank
oh my
you.
gosh, I've like kind of come full circle a little bit. So this is a very cool moment for me.
Yeah, no, thank you very much, Reese. And yes, so Slack, we are all in Slack. So if you don't want to Google, that's slack.cncf.io. So that goes into this page that Reese mentioned, where you can type in your email, you get an invitation, and you join. But yeah, so the invitation is there for people to join the Open Telemetry community. All the SIGs that we have there, like the end user SIG, and other SIGs, where you can discuss about OpenTelemetry and learn about OpenTelemetry. And yeah, the invitation is also here on this channel. So if you like the content here, click the subscribe button down there. If you are on YouTube, if you are on LinkedIn, then I think the idea is to follow the page. I don't know, something like that.
Do all the things.
And yeah, exactly. All right, Reese, thank you very much. The next session that we have for Telemetry Drops is next year. So I'm going into vacations, deserved vacations. So for the final weeks of the year, and see you all then next year. You too, Reese.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Bye.